Okay, we had some good, strong meetings today to make sure we're on the topics of the things we got to be on to make sure we're getting better and working at it. We saw a lot of improvement offensively yesterday, and it looked like the kind of game we've been hoping to see, where there was balance and we protected and we ran the ball some and guys making their plays and we converted on third down, all those things. Didn't turn the ball over to the last play of the game. So a lot of good things there, and that we can build on. On the other side of the ball, we didn't get it done on the early downs. They were able to make enough running the football where they stayed with it, and were really consistent about that. And the runner did a nice job, and we didn't get enough stops in critical situations. Gave up a couple big runs, and that really led to their numbers and all. The third downs don't look that imposing. They were 4 for 7, wasn't very many of them, but they had big plays on those third downs that kind of changed field positions. They had explosive plays on third down wins for them that caused us some field position issues and stuff like that. So we've got stuff we've got to zero in on and get done, and it's obvious. We played real hard. Special teams played really hard. They neutralized stuff that we thought that was the best special teams group we had seen in the early part of this season, and we played them well. And the thing that's frustrating about it is that we had a lot of numbers that we generally kind of consider as ones that make a difference in a game. It didn't work out. We're plus turnovers. We're over the 50 mark. With completions and runs. We stayed in control of the ball. We had the ball more than they did. I mean, there's a lot of things there that would spell go down and win a football game. We'd been feeling pretty darn good about it last time down, but it didn't happen. So we're still battling, and so we're going to keep going and keep clawing, scratching at it until we get it right and match it all up on both sides of the ball and play together well. So we're working at it.
What surprises you about the defense? Certainly the numbers, and you mentioned some of those explosive plays. How much of this is to be expected with new guys coming together, new scheme, new defensive coordinator? How much of it is a surprise?
I'm not surprised. I don't know that. I'm disappointed that we're not starting faster. Yeah, I would like to have gotten off to a faster start with what we're doing. Third down numbers are not in good shape at all. The running numbers aren't either, and so. There's a few errors in there that do spell the newness, and you can see it. We give up some stuff, and we give them a third and 19 conversion, which that's a bad conversion to give up. We really should be able to make that play, and it's just playing deep to short and forcing them to dump the ball underneath us, and it's just the young guy's mistake. And so those are things that we need to iron out and get rid of so that we can play a more consistent game and complement what the offense did. It's really, we talk about communication a lot today, because there are alerts coming in and alerts in the game plan preparation that can that help us there, and listening. Like when there's an experienced player next to you and he tells you something, you hear it. It's not that he's not making the communication, but we act on it well, and so those are all things that will get better. It's just there's no time. We're going to get going.
Do you think the changes in the scheme this year are still taking some time to iron out, or?
There's a combination of new guys, and new stuff, and so there's a little bit of latitude in there that you can understand, but we need to get rid of it and get it ironed out. I don't know. I think we're going to be fine, and I like what we're doing, and I like how we're doing it. We just need to get our wins.
Before the season, you said that Boye Mafe was going to be used as a situational rusher to start off. How is he progressing towards maybe getting more action on early downs? Seems like he's playing the run pretty well.
Yeah, he did do well against the running game. He played the edge really well yesterday, and we're looking to continue to add for him. He's looked like he's played strong, and he's been active, and he's made a few plays in every game that he's been in, and we just need to keep going with him and just keep the rotation going, making sure. I don't think we found the exact rotation for us yet, but we're working on it.
You mentioned Daryl Johnson on the radio. He's the guy when you brought him in, you talked a lot about special teams, but has he given you more on defense maybe than you realized?
Yeah, he really has, and I just have come to really appreciate his general ball sense and awareness. He's got really good feel, and he's a really good technician, and he's got flexibility, and he can play different spots. And could have read into that he could contribute on special teams in a big way. Then he might have some, maybe better awareness than other guys. Covering kicks at 260 pounds, man. Again, that's a special player, and so he's given us some stuff. And like with Boye, we want him to continue to be part of the rotation and keep growing that thing.
Could he be a more physical option in run defense, Johnson?
He will be. We want to use him. Yeah, I want him to play more. Yeah, on early downs.
Pete, I think through 3 games you're allowing about 5 yards a carry with the rush game, to kind of speak to some of the numbers you're talking about there. But is there anything that stands out?
It's 4.9. That's a big difference.
4.9. Yeah. Close to 5. What stands out when you go watch it? What aren't you seeing that you want to see? Is it stoutness at the point of attack? Is it getting off blocks? What are
Yeah,
some
we have to play with each other and play relative to each other better than we are, and that's getting off the blocks at the right time and fitting the right time and not giving them any added space, that gives those runners a chance to get rolling. Coming off the blocks is a really important part of it, whether it's a linebacker or DBs coming off the edges or the guys that play the edge, the Sam and Will backers. They have to get their job done.
How did you feel like the tackling was yesterday compared to the first 2 games?
There wasn't a tackling issue to me in this game. That wasn't it. It was more fitting together and making sure that we're in the right spots and we're hitting our fits like we're supposed to. I really was impressed with the running back. I mean, he was roaring, and I think he's going to continue to get better. I think they realized that they really got something special in that guy.
Have you seen a guy make that sort of transition?
No. No, I haven't seen anybody like that. And really, you can see him. He continues to find his confidence in the things that he can do. And he's always been a special player, but he hasn't ever found his niche like he has now. And I was trying to not talk about him last week because I knew they were in town. I didn't want to pump him up because they were rotating him a lot. And that was better than him being out there. But I think he has a chance with the way they're doing it and the way they're using him to have a really big year.
After looking at him on film, the holding calls on Damien in the 4th quarter, what did you think of those?
Yeah, the one on the screen, the big play, that stops, sets us back on the last drive, that was legit. That was, he had to hold the guy's jersey, and it was a good tight hold, but had he stayed with him, but the guy started to pull away a little bit so you could see the pull. It's always the tug of the jersey that they can see, and that's legit, and we can't do that.
Offensively, with the growth you've seen, is it progressing about as you expected this
Well,
time?
I made some comment and just responding last week about the throwing game and about Gino and all that, because of what you saw. He was in command of it, and he's got it. I think that we didn't do a whole lot different with this week. We just knew that he was going to be able to pull it off and put it together in a big way, and that was not going to be an area that we needed to be concerned about. We thought he could throw a good ball game for us, and he did. He was really good in a lot of critical situations, a lot of tough passes. Timing was really good. The 3rd down wins. We just missed having an enormous day on 3rd down, with our 3rd and 3s that we missed a couple of those, I think this is really a good time for us on offense. I think this is time for us to really go.
What did you like about the tempo? There was a lot of no huddle yesterday compared to the
Yeah, we love playing like that. We love playing like that and taking advantage of what we know how to do well and make your defenses have to deal with it. Tempo is not as big a deal as it once was. It's so common now that everybody has their ways of dealing with it. But it still, creates a sense of urgency on the other side, and you can wear them down a little bit if you can keep some succession going there, and so it's a good part of our game. Shane's really in good command of that.
What do you think of Cody and Jordan? Cody guarding Jordan.
What do I think of them?
Yeah, how they played through 3 weeks.
I think Jordan has, really been at the top edge of his game. He's got a million things that he's doing well. He's doing everything well. And Cody he had a couple plays yesterday that he needs back. In general, he's been consistent. He got a lot of exposure yesterday, and some stuff, and we needed to fit him up and runs a couple shots better. Passing game, he had a couple shots too on 3rd downs. The ball was around him and all that. So he got a lot of action yesterday. He's working really hard at it, and he did not have a full week of practice. Whether that mattered, I don't know, but we're counting on him to come through.
How did you feel like the offensive line played yesterday?
Really solid day. Protection was great, and we gave up a couple sacks late in the game, but the protection was really good. The running game was, we're right around 5 yards a clip, and it was a nice day for the guys. I think the tackles continue to just show really a consistency that we're counting on, and they're not wowed by what's going on. They're okay about it, and they're handling it really well.
Cody and Jordan.
It's kind of like the twins, you kind of feel like the two guys kind of hanging together, but I really like what they're doing. Sorry.
Cody and Jordan in the run game, is there a significant difference in what responsibilities they have when there's 5 guys on the line in front of them versus when there's only 4?
It's a good question, really, Michael. That it depends on the call. There are different calls that come out of the 4-3 look that aren't necessarily part of the 3-4 look, and so they have different stuff that they do. And both aspects. I'm going to try to give you a general way so you have an answer to this one. Both aspects have single gap responsibility at times, as opposed to having 2 gap responsibility at times. So there's a difference between the two, and they have to know it.
When your tight ends are playing the way they are, I mean, obviously, what does that do to the offense? Besides, it helps move the chains. Are you able to do? What are you more able to do?
Yeah, we want to continue to push it, because it's a really good group for us, and when DK's and the other guy, and we're lined up to run the football as well, you have some edges that you can take advantage of in the running game, and then when you can use all 3 guys, there's no one guy they can take away, and because everybody's contributing in a good fashion. So it's a really good spot for us. Our guys can all catch the ball really well, very confidently. From our end of it, we want to use them. So it's just a matter of continuing to grow with it. It slows down your offense a little bit, and you don't have as many fast guys on the field. But it's a different aspect of it, and they certainly can give us an edge. We need to keep working it and developing it, because there's nothing that we can't do with those guys.
Do you remember doing that here previous to this with 3 tight ends?
Yeah, we've always used. We've always had it. It's not been as much of an obvious focus for us. This is the best group we've had.
Sidney Jones wasn't active yesterday. I guess was he healthy, and where does he fit into things right
now?
now?
Yeah, it just happened because of our needs with backup spots and special teams.
Do you anticipate getting Coleman or Burns back this week?
Already practiced last week, and we had anticipated he needed to get a couple weeks to get back in shape to make sure that he was, well on his way to being fine and healed and all that. So he'll be practicing this week, trying to get on practice on the game field.
How's Travis Homer?
He's really sore. Yeah, he got hurt. He had significant. I don't know if I can call it bruised ribs, a little bit of cartilage in there issue. I don't know how far this is going to take him or not. I don't know, but I know he's really uncomfortable today.
That happened on the one run play?
Yeah, he got a helmet. He got hit on one side and it really actually hurt him on the other side, which is really unusual in my experience, which is very limited. But yeah, he got banged pretty good.
What do you need to step up on special teams and coverage units?
Well, DJ did a great job taking over the punt team, and guys, Ryan Neal had to move to another side. I mean, a lot of things had to happen because he's such an integral part. So this does open up an opportunity for our guys to move around and step up.
Is Sidney Jones still competing? I mean, they always compete, but is he still in the plans at corner?
Yeah, the guys are just doing well. The guys that are playing out there, both Tariq and Michael are doing a good job, and so it's kind of, we're in rhythm a little bit. Want to keep those guys growing as young players, and but yeah, it's always competitive, of course, and we know that Sidney can play, and we know that Artie can play. So the position that went from, like looking pretty bleak, like we didn't have any backup, experienced players. Now that those guys are back out there, we've got a good group now, and so we'll see how that works.
Speaking of Tariq, he got his first pick yesterday. Are you even surprised that this early into his career he seemed to have locked into things as quick as he has, given what you guys thought?
I am really. I got to be honest with you. Oh yeah, I knew it was going to happen. I can say that, but I didn't think that. I didn't know. I didn't know that a ton of background about him. And just knew that a regular part of the draft and all, and a guy that we were interested in because of all the measurables He's been way beyond that. He's been way better than what I think we could have projected this early. And it's really because his mentality is really solid. He's really seemingly, very comfortable with the opportunity, and he's open for criticism and open for critique and getting better. And you can talk to him in the games, and he's calm and poised and all. He's really he's off to a great start. And to make a huge play last week and a huge play this week to get a pick, that's a pretty big deal in 3 weeks. So let's just go slow about it, and we don't need to pat him on the back too much. He's doing fine, and we'll get him going. I'm really fired up about his contribution, though.
Did it feel like a leap of faith on your part to start him, just considering he's rookie, 5th-round pick and all that?
Yeah, I think anytime you start a rookie corner, there's you make a big statement in there. However, he earned it. He just flat out earned it. He came out here and did well from day one, and route after route after route challenge. And it really was his work against Marquise that really elevated, our opinion of him, because he hung with him on a bunch of different routes in camp, and we could see that he could handle the speed, and he was very consistent about it. And really, with the young guys, it's you wonder if they're going to be consistent. That's you don't know, because they haven't been out there and they haven't shown you, so you don't know what to go on. And but he gave me and I know Carl and Clinton, they gave us all enough confidence that he would have a shot at it, and should he, he's 3 weeks old, so he's just getting going.
You told the story on the radio about Richard Sherman, a decision you made with him, a decade ago. Were you saying that? Did that sort of give you some background, knowing that you can trust a guy that early?
I don't know if that one gave me that background. That's the right way of saying it. But we have been through the experience, and there's a like story. The guy came over from receiver in the middle of his college career in his junior year, got 2 years on defense, and there was some similarities about it. And I've been talking to Sherm about Tariq for a long time. Since we got a chance to look at him, and there are some familiar stages along the way. And actually, Tariq got a little quicker start than Sherm did. And just like if you'd asked me about Sherm, I would have been, if I was really straight up, I'd have said I was really surprised too in Sherm and his ability to take over as well as he did, as soon as he did. And I just didn't know as well as I did know him, way more so than Tariq. I didn't realize he was going to have that much savvy that would just come to the front right from the beginning. And the competitiveness we understood, and a lot of things we understood. But man, he was just was a great player, and his great brain for a player. He was so aware and took advantage of all that savvy. And so they're different, but there's a lot of similarities as well. And it's kind of fun watching them, and I'm glad Sherm's been kind of a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about so many rookies. The growth that we've seen from basically your entire class so far this season, how rare is it to have all those guys contribute as well as they have?
It's a fantastic class. It really is. And this is a great sign as we move forward. These guys are going to get better. They're going to be better in the next 3 or 4 weeks. They're going to make improvement in the next 3 or 4 weeks as they go. They put 3 weeks behind them and get them another one and another one. You keep adding. It's just going to... We have to maintain a vision down the road here, because we're going places. And when we can function that clean on offense, and you can count on your QB to be that much on it, and really do a good job taking care of the football as well, it gives us really big expectations. And so we just got to get going. There's no time, but the future looks bright.
You've got enough to worry about with your own team. I'm just wondering if you've caught any glimpses of what the Huskies are doing.
Yeah, I'm fired up that they're off to such a good start. The quarterback has been great. Golly, he's been a dynamic player for him, and what a good start. What a crazy week it was too for the Cougs. And I mean, football was crazy last week. There was a lot of stuff that happened, a lot of things that you wouldn't think would turn the way they did. I mean, look at our division. Our division is there's 3 teams, 1 and 2 in the division. How the heck that happened? And the Rams are doing their thing, but. Everybody's in it, so it's who can progress the fastest and stay the healthiest and keep moving, and it's going to be an exciting year.
Did you get more of an explanation on the whole drone thing and what happened with that? Or?
Matter of fact, I haven't heard a word about it. It was interesting. A couple moments in there during the to see what was going on. I never did see it. Did anybody see it? No.
Cool to catch up with Super before the game.
Yeah, that was a great moment. I mean, I've met her before and had tremendous respect and all, but just in kind of realizing in the last few years, you know, that she's all the things that she's done. I haven't met her a long time ago, matter of fact, but all the things that she's done in her career, and then she just continues to be such an amazing person, amazing character and personality and competitor and all of that. She's as good as you can get. And I don't care what sport, what side of the fence you're on, whatever. You know, she can do it all, man. And I asked her, I said, are you sure you're done? You know, and she kind of laughed about it. She's going to check it out. She's got a million things she's going to do. She's going to be a tremendous asset to the world, and as she goes down the line here, and for women and young girls and all that. What a great iconic figure she is. So it's really something.
To circle back on when you said you need to maintain a vision, this circle.
She didn't want to stay on talking about Sue. That was kind of fun right there.
The future looks bright. Are you talking within the season?
Yeah, heck yeah. Next few weeks, I think we can make strides, and I mean, these guys they can't help but learn and grow, and they're out there playing and all that. And so, as we all put it together, I mean, how could you, if you like the Seahawks, how could you not be fired up about what Gino's done? You know, I mean, he's done a great job for us, and so that's just one of the factors, you know. But it's a factor that was a question mark, and now you can see him. So I'm really fired up about that.
One more on Woolen. You said on the radio that all he really has to do is stick to the basics. What was the thought behind that?
That's just stepping and kicking. I mean, it's just the basics of things come so comfortably to him if he just starts really well and does a really nice job technique-wise and believes in himself and makes each play. See, we've been through this for a lot of years with guys, and this principle that we teach, and you know, I have so many examples of guys who have captured it over the years. Once you get really confident that you entrust yourself, then the plays become a lot the same, one after another, and you just keep stacking them up. So he's working on stacking, you know, plays in a series and stacking plays in a game, and then game after game, and see if he can keep growing. He's got a ton that he's going to learn and all. But it's more simple than it is complex, though. It's the fundamentals of the way he can play. Not everybody can do it this way. So just all of the guys that I've coached over the years, they're all watching him.
First halves have been more productive generally than the second half. Is that coincidence, or teams figuring anything out? Is there just something?
No, I think our team has been a little bit like that. You know, we haven't been we've started some games pretty well here, and you can see us and get off going, and then the numbers don't continue to go. And I think it's just adapting to the season and adapting to the games and all of that. Same with him. You know, I think with the young guys in particular, and that's why unfortunately the tackles and the corners have to play. And once you get them out there, you know, it's not a position that you roll guys, and so they have to get used to the length of the game and hang with it.
This morning when you mentioned the changes you wanted to help the defense, are those changes to new or changes back to what some might be familiar with from the past?
We're just making our adaptations. We have to adapt to the guys in the scheme and make sure that everybody's, you know, getting the stuff that they need and the prep that they need, and it's just ball coaching. You know, it's not like, oh, we're going to go back and do something we used to do and that kind of stuff. We're not doing that.
What does Ryan Neal got to do to get on the field?
Well, he ran into Josh Jones, who has played really well, you know, and he's done a good job. Ryan is ready to go. He's a great competitive kid in our team. I love him, and I wish he was on the field more. We haven't shoved our way into the Jamal Adams thought, you know, of having the 3 safety thing yet, and but we're working on it, and he missed a lot of time.
One last thing, what do you think of the game Gerald Taylor?
He has continued to show the bright spots that we need to see. It was a great rush and a great forced fumble, great sack. He had some really good plays and some good hits. I like a rotation with our guys at this position, and we're trying to find out what's the right mix there. With Boye playing better and showing some good signs, and us, you know, kind of falling for Bam. You know, that combination of how we mix those guys is really something we're trying to zero in on. Yeah. Yes. Bam and Daryl. Bam Johnson.
Anything else?
Thank you. Okay.